So, but I wasn't always here. This is how it all started. This is me. I went to an all-girl Catholic school back home in Haiti. If you guys couldn't pick up, I'm very Caribbean. I'm Haitian. So this is where it all started for me. I grew up there. This was my dad, and when I was 14, he was 42. My father was very brutally murdered back home in Haiti. So life hit hard early, and so I moved from Haiti to the United States. Because the thing is, even though they knew who did it and where it happened, justice was never served. And so I had a hard time staying there. And so I moved to New York. I lived with my maternal grandmother there. I did my last year of high school. This is my uncle who was there to support. And that was my first leap. So I took many leaps in my journey. And the leap that I am urging you to take on yourself, on for those of you who haven't started your firm, or the leap that I am confirming for you that you are on the right track for having taken if you started your firm, is because I'm very accustomed to taking leaps, and they've all worked out. I am who I am today. I am where I am today because of every single chance I've taken on myself. So taking chances on yourself are like, that's the best chance you can take. So the second thing that happened is, after I was living with my grandmother for a year, our house caught on fire and she didn't make it. And so I had two choices. It was either go back home to my mom, or pick myself up by my bootstraps and just figure it out in New York, concrete jungle for the New Yorkers on there, right? And so it was a matter of taking my life into my own hands. Had three jobs, taking 18 credits. At one point, I was a bank teller at North Fork Bank. I was a receptionist at Nemeth Nissan. It's a car dealership on Hillside Avenue. And I was also tutoring French. And I was taking 18 credits, and graduated with my double major in political science and business management. And this is me actually, my last semester in college, with Congressman Engel from Nyack, New York, in on Capitol Hill. And that was between my dad's situation and working on the Hill for about a year, about a semester. That's kind of where this whole idea of becoming an attorney really germinated for me, because all of the lawmakers, most of them were former attorneys. And so I felt like that would be something, if I wanted to effectuate real change, that was going to be a good path. So that's how that all happened. So yeah, Adelphi. And then I moved down to South Florida in 2005, started law school, went to Nova Southeastern University, graduated. This is me graduating in May 2008. And I sat for the July bar of that year. And I was waiting for my bar results, which were supposed to come out in September. And in August, I found out I had passed the pregnancy test before finding out whether I had passed the bar exam, which, was obviously for us lawyers. And in 2008, new rookie lawyer, bad move. And so that happened. And my boss at the time, I had a job as a securities litigation attorney. And my boss was really excited to have me on in the beginning. He was a 40-year veteran. He had worked for the SEC, in New York, and he's really sharp attorney. And when I got pregnant, things changed. He wasn't so happy to have me on board. And mind you, this was a job that I took. I had been interning with him for my last semester in my clinic in law school. So he had offered me the job. A lot of people were not getting jobs back then. And I remember going back and forth with him on my salary, and I wanted 50 at a minimum. He offered me 47. Actually, he offered me 45. We landed on 47. Mind you, this is after law school. And I really wanted at least 50 because I was making 50 in New York as an assistant to an executive in Manhattan. And I was like, now I have all of this debt. Can I at least make what I was making? Because I'm taking a pay cut and now I'm $150,000 in the red. Like, that's not what was supposed to happen. And of course, I'm at the job, pregnant. I know some of you guys that are in here don't know what that looks like, but because you're men. But the women who've been there, anybody who has been pregnant on here, anybody who has babies, okay. When you're pregnant, you're sleepy a lot and you eat a lot and you got to use the bathroom a lot. You got to pee because this thing is like sitting on your, parts. And so, yeah, that was me. So the 18 hours, days and the billing, the billables and all of that, it was like a nightmare. I couldn't keep up. He wasn't excited to have me. I wasn't excited to be at the job. And so this was it. He was not happy and I didn't want to be there. But even though I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want this job. I don't like what I'm doing, and asking myself, is this really it? Is this it? Like, I went to school, I did all of that for this. And although I had all of that going on, I couldn't leave. And I couldn't leave because I needed the money. Sally Mae wanted her money back. Now she's Navient, but back then she was Sally Mae, okay? And I owed her a lot of money. And so she wanted her money back. I had to pay those loans back. And so I stayed until I had my son. So then I gave birth to Mr. Luke, who's now 12, okay? But this was my little guy. And let me tell you something, once he came on the scene, I just wanted to be mom. I was like, you know what? I know I went to school for this. I'm barred. I can always come back to this. But at that point, when he was about 3 months old and I was set to go back to work, I needed an out. I needed something else because I did not want to put my kid in daycare. I didn't want to miss out on his milestone. I became super attached really quick. And so, which is normal, right? And so I prayed really hard, and my answer to prayer came in the form of a woman offering me a facial with Mary Kay Cosmetics at a Target, a local Target. So she comes, she does her thing. By the time we're done and I've done all the creams and everything, I became a Mary Kay consultant. That was my third leap that I've taken in my life. And I say that I bought my freedom for $100, because for $100, I started this lipstick business and didn't even know what was in that starter kit. But in that starter kit was my freedom. It was my law firm that I ended up building off of this. And this is my pink Cadillac that was also in there. I drove that to court. I was like, and I didn't care because, ultimately this was financing my dreams and the lifestyle that I really wanted. And this is actually my first flyer that I created for my law firm, and my lipstick business funded that.